Former President Donald Trump facing more legal trouble, but now in Georgia, where a grand jury is expected to hear an election fraud case this week.
That could include messages that parts of the former president's legal team to a voting system breach. Fox 5's Robert Moses joins us now to break down the details. Good morning, Robert.
So Shani and Dan, good morning to you. This could well be the week when we are talking about yet another indictment for former President Donald Trump, and he may not be the only one to face criminal charges in Georgia.
This week in Georgia, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is expected to present her case to a grand jury, a signal that former President Donald Trump could soon face his fourth indictment in 5 months. Georgia's former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan and a local journalist, George Cheedy, confirmed over the weekend that they were asked to testify before the grand jury tomorrow.
Is there any chance you take a plea deal in Georgia?
We did nothing wrong. We don't ever take a step.
Willis is expected to charge not only the former president, but also some of his associates. According to CNN, Willis's team has text messages and emails connecting members of the former president's legal team, including Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, to the breach of a voting system in Coffee County, Georgia, in early 2021, south of Willis's jurisdiction of Fulton County. State laws allow Willis to pursue charges outside of her county. The former president's legal team tried to find evidence of widespread voter fraud in Coffee County in an attempt to postpone the certification of Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. Former Congressman and current Republican presidential candidate Will Hurd spoke about the breach.
This kind of infrastructure is considered critical infrastructure, and it's supposed to be defended. The Trump team tried to get access in other places, and they went through the legal process, and courts gave access to some of the information. In this case, they weren't getting it, so they tried to take it themselves.
Another part of the Georgia investigation focuses on the phone call that former President Trump made to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger asking him to find 11,780 votes. "I made a perfect phone call of protest," former President Trump said yesterday on Truth Social. "What does phony Fani have to do with me? She should instead focus on the record number of murders in Atlanta."
The former president teased an announcement this week about whether he will participate in the first Republican primary debate. That's on August 23rd in Milwaukee. Last week, in an interview on Newsmax, he said he would not sign the pledge to support the eventual nominee that is required to participate in that debate. Dan, back to you.
Okay, Robert, thank you very much.